recording for my voice for the Idubbz Harsh Reality of Creator Clash 2 that failed. I'm not praying on his downfall, but I mean, I'm not surprised that this happened. Like Sensitive Society said, you know, I'm surprised that you're surprised because even though you were funding for a lot of charities, it was a charity match, you lost $250,000. I'm going to say that again, $250,000, because that number stings harder than $250,000, $250,000. Obviously, Ian in his video talks about why the money didn't add up, or not the money didn't add up, but why the event essentially failed, and he gives a couple of reasons for this. I'm just going to go for the tried and true reason, you know, the one that everyone wants to say, the one that people probably should say, is that you alienated half your audience, or at least a good portion of them. You decided that you wanted to, all of a sudden, you know, once you got your girlfriend, now wife, OnlyFans, now boxing promoter, you know, who's getting in with now the Twitch people, the pod community, the bullshit community, and trying to be, you know, high societies of the world. You decided now that all of the stuff you did in the past was bad, and anyone who still lives, or at least understands and sees the good qualities of the way you used to live with how you used to do videos, you now antagonized them, and then you said, fuck you to them. I don't know how you haven't learned this lesson. I mean, it's already been taught. I mean, you're not the first. I don't know if you think you're the first, but you're not the first, and you're definitely not going to be the last of, you know, YouTubers, people online who think that once you reach a certain point in your career, you can just turn your back on everyone who supported you, everyone who genuinely liked your content, and say, oh, by the way, these are the new red flags. For the new guys who are coming in, yeah, these are the new red flags. I don't think it's going to add up to anything good. And, you know, I've watched some of his stuff, you know, how he's been talking these, like, recent Cope videos, and I don't think he's faking it. I don't think he's grifting or anything like that. It seems to me like he actually thinks this is legit. I think this is actually how he thinks. But he lost money, and some of it can be put into, maybe he shouldn't have put money into the gala, or maybe he shouldn't have put money into the trauma, or I guess the trauma help, or for the stuff after the fight. I don't know what you could chalk it up to. I mean, there was a lot of factors, like he said, but ultimately, I think that this is all his fault. At the end of the day, the PR was bad. First of all, there wasn't PR. And when there was, it was just talking about the people he doesn't want in his community anymore. When you do that, I think you should be ready to take a big hit financially, or a big hit in viewers, people who support you, because the new audience, it's not going to be enough. And it clearly showed by how many people actually bought tickets. What was it? 50,000 as opposed to 100K in the past. So, I mean, dude, like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't raise money for charity, but I don't feel that sad for you. Really, you could have used the help where you needed to. But unfortunately for you, you think that your morals are so above everyone else that you have to stick with them at the cost of raising money for charity. And even though it wouldn't have made a difference, like he talks about the math, that other people were willing to donate, it wouldn't have, even though he went over it still wouldn't have covered the cost. But still, in my opinion, it would have been better than nothing. You know, the loss wouldn't have been as great. And I think, bro, the lesson, which unfortunately I don't think you're going to learn, is that you shouldn't alienate your base. You need to promote your stuff more. I think you need to get more recognizable figures into your Creator Clash. And I think you just shouldn't be a dick to your past fans. I really. All of this, maybe if you would have kept quiet about it, maybe you wouldn't have taken much of a hit. And, you know, joking, you know, the whole Froggy Fresh debacle that went down, I think had something to do with it too. The amount of people who pirated the event, I have to wonder how many of those people did it out of spite for you and the takes that you've had, you know, whether or not it's like legitimate on the basis of like other people sacrificing their time and energy for the fight, but just to spite you. That's something that I guess is, you know, it's still pretty bad. But I mean, in the case of just them against you, them spiting you, like it has an effect on everything else. And I think you ought to take responsibility for that. But I think you're more interested in taking responsibility for other things. This is just sad, dude. I used to like you, not for nothing, but there wasn't anything wrong with like your fans who just understood the point, not the fans who took it too far and were trying to be schizo freaks, you know, like freaks from Alcatraz or from Arkham Asylum or anything. I don't think the majority of your fans were those types of people who were just crazies of the world. All right. All I can really say is I feel sorry for you. I mean, in every single video, you look like you're about to cry. You look so sad. Freaking Aniza she was taking credit for being a promoter of the event right up until you did the charity stream, in which point she basically like dogged on you or made a really rude comment to you. Like, as your spouse, I would think you'd be more mature than to say that. Or if you have to say something like that, why did you have to say it on stream? Be supportive of your spouse, but whatever. I don't trust these two. I don't really like these two. I used to like I said, the old Idubbz, the old content. Does that make me a bad person? I mean, you can think so. Frankly, I don't care. I hope if there is a Creative Clash 3, please do not try to brush your way through the crowd. Please do not try to just shoehorn your way in and think that everything's going to be better than the last time. Because if you just follow your ego, if you just do everything out of pride, I promise you, it's not going to benefit you. And there's really no reason for you to do that anyways, when you don't even have to. Just make a good event, promote it decently, get good fighters. Please stop being a dick and stop saying everyone who, I'm not even going to repeat it. Just stop being a dick. And you know what? You promised you that would easily improve your numbers. Obviously, I'm not a promoter. I'm not a fighter. I've never done anything like that. But I'm just talking about this as an old fan, bro. Like, this is just sad to see. And it's getting to the point where I don't even care anymore. The apathy is setting in. Like, the world could crash tomorrow, and I don't care, really, because my whole world revolves around the Idubbz situation. Yes. Anyways, I just care a little bit about it just to make this small video. Hopefully everything goes well. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later.